Hello everyone, today I'll be talking about some of the events that led up to the Spanish Civil War, the beginning of the siege of Madrid by the Nationalists, and also why the Nationalists ended up defeating the Republicans in the Spanish Civil War and the siege of Madrid. The siege of Madrid and the Spanish Civil War were both pretty important to the European landscape because it acted as a proxy war between different nations before World War II. Effects of the siege of Madrid could still be seen to this day, with many recovering from the evils committed by Francisco Franco. Before the Civil War, Spain had just put an end to their monarchy and had a new democratically elected government take power in 1931. But with the promises of democracy came a weak and inefficient government that struggled to keep its citizens out of poverty. At the same time, the Second Spanish Republic started its rule, and having support from European countries surrounding it and also Mexico, a new fascist movement in Germany saw a new fascist government take rise in power with support of a fascist Italy. Different ideologies sweeping the continent, many in Spain became resentful towards the Second Spanish Republic, and because of its weakness, and hoped that a stronger government would soon take its position. That meant the people of Spain chose different ideologies, with the upper class turning to far-left ideologies such as fascism, Marxism, and others, and the poor and working class turning to leftist ideologies such as communism, socialism, and at some points anarchism. With military leaders and generals gaining more and more power, and also the Popular Front, which was a leftist coalition, winning the election, in July of 1936, the Civil War would start. Generals Francisco Franco and other generals in Spanish Morocco beginning an uprising against the Spanish government and began marching their armies into the Iberian Peninsula. With the beginning of the Civil War, Roman Catholics, monarchists, and fascists tended to join the Nationalist Front, while working-class people who chose ideologies such as communism, socialism, and anarchism joined on the Republican side. Months later, in November of 1936, the Nationalists had taken most of Spain's territory, as well as beginning their siege on Madrid. Although not volunteering directly, the Republicans did have one major supporter in the form of the Soviet Union, who sent over supplies as well as tanks for the Republican army to use. Germany as well as Italy voiced their support for the Nationalists, as well as Italy sending over troops to help out the Nationalists take Spain. While most of Europe seemed to be on the Republican side, no country directly volunteered, only sending troops of volunteers called brigades. Los moros no pasarán, no pasarán, no pasarán. Each day passing, the people of Madrid would suffer endlessly at the cause of the Nationalists attempting to siege their city day after day. During this time, the Nationalists would commit what could only be described as an ideological purge against the leftists and those who supported the Republican government. In the siege of Madrid, the capital became one of the first cities in Europe to be bombed using airplanes. Churches, homes, and businesses were all bombed in the Nationalist attempt to take over the country. The people of Madrid had the choices of getting killed by bombs, standing up and fighting for the country tooth and nail, or starving to death from all the food shortages caused by the siege. El pueblo madrileño fundó el quinto regimiento. At the end of the Nationalist attempt to take the city of Madrid, most of Spain's territory had been taken, with only a few areas south and east of Madrid still remaining under Republican rule. The Nationalists gaining most of the support of the upper class and also containing most of the crop-rich areas of the country, they were able to use food as a way of propaganda against the Republican government, causing many soldiers to leave their posts. On March 28th of 1939, the Republicans would officially lose the Spanish Civil War, with the Nationalists entering the city, causing the government to go into exile and also surrendering. With March 28th marking the end of Republican rule and war and suffering in the Spanish Peninsula caused by the Nationalist attempt to siege the city of Madrid.
En la historia militar, esta España singular.
Because of a lack of a common goal, poor tactics from the Republican side, as well as more support for the nationalists from the upper class in other countries, the nationalists were able to succeed in their attempt to overtake the city of Madrid, turning Spain into a one-party state under Francisco Franco for many decades. Everybody, thank you for watching my video on the siege of Madrid, as well as some of the background information on the Spanish Civil War, and I hope your day is great. Thank you for watching.
Libertad.